Every second wasted doubting if the market will accept your idea, your product, your vision, feels like bleeding out in slow motion. The relentless fear that you'll launch, only to be swallowed whole by competitors, ignored by customers, or crushed by the weight of the way things are done, crashes over countless founders and leaders like an invisible tsunami. It hits harder when you realize that being first is not enough. The biggest names, the market leaders, didn't just stumble into success. They didn't just have a better product or a flash of luck. They orchestrated their entry like generals planning a battle. Every move calibrated, every angle exploited, every resource mobilized with ruthless precision. If the market is a jungle, category leaders are not just animals. They're apex predators who rewrite the rules while everyone else is still figuring out how to survive. The brutal truth? Most founders and innovators are handed a script written by those who play it safe, follow the norms, and sacrifice creativity for comfort. Investors want proof, teams want certainty, and the market demands conformity. It's like trying to break a wild stallion with a leash made of habits and industry standards. No wonder the spirit withers before the dream can even breathe. But what if the edge, that scary edge everyone avoids, is where the real power lives? What if the pain you feel right now, the isolation, the overwhelm, the endless cycle of pitching and grinding with no clear win, is just the system's last gasp trying to hold you back before the breakthrough hits? Category leaders don't play everyone else's game. They create their own. They start by seizing control not just of how they enter a market, but of how the market sees them. They don't just launch products, they script perceptions. They don't just sell solutions, they ignite desire. They build invisible but unbreakable connections with the exact right people, partners, customers, insiders, long before a single dollar changes hands. It's not marketing. It's an orchestration of human energy, timing, and relentless focus on the gaps everyone else ignores or fears. Here's where the magic begins. They don't just compete, they reframe the battlefield. Imagine this. While the rest of the world wastes time shouting louder, they listen deeper. They don't just want the spotlight, they want the stage. Instead of rushing to sell, they master the art of anticipation, creating a sense of urgency so intense the market has no choice but to engage. How? By identifying the fracture points, the discontent people feel but can't quite say out loud. The market always whispers its dissatisfaction, but few founders have ears sharp enough to hear it. Category leaders catch these whispers and shout solutions like a revolution. That's the secret everyone misses. Real market entry isn't a splash. It's a rising tide pulled by unseen currents you alone command. No, this doesn't come from fancy multi-million-dollar campaigns or endless focus groups. It comes from ruthless fidelity to an insight so pure it cuts through noise like a blade. The insight that what the market needs isn't always what the market thinks it needs. They go beyond surface symptoms. They dig beneath what's convenient, beneath comfort, beneath the illusions that keep others trapped in outdated cycles. And that digging is painful. It's lonely. Because almost everyone else is chasing well-lit paths. They walk in shadows where no one dares follow. But shadows are where the seeds of revolution grow. Think about it. Who remembers the safe, polite launches? Nobody. What lives on are the stories of those who shattered expectations, broke frameworks, defied norms, and through that raw, untamed energy created new categories. This is how category leaders build not just a product but a movement. They aren't looking for acceptance. They demand transformation. Here's the hard part. This isn't for the faint of heart. It demands shedding the weight of what everyone else says, questioning every assumption, even the ones you cling to as founder, investor, or leader. It requires the brutal willingness to be misaligned, misunderstood, even isolated, for a time, because pioneering is a lonely road. But in that isolation, brilliance waits, connection waits. The rare, explosive synergy that defines category leadership only ignites when you stop trying to fit in and start crafting your own rules. Every market leader understands this secret. Their power comes from being selective. Not everyone belongs in their story. They align with a fierce, blazing few who burn with the same fire, who challenge, who support, who amplify instead of dilute. This network, this tribe of the extraordinary, is their fortress and launchpad. The market becomes a canvas they paint boldly on, not a cage they're stuck inside. This is why trying to scale by copying others always leads to hollow victories. You need fierce connection, with people who push you, ways that sharpen you, and strategies that break linear thinking. Without this, growth is just noise, and noise is forgotten. Then there's timing. Most fall into the trap of launch now or die pressure. But the fastest lion is the one who pounces at the perfect moment. Category leaders master patience, long enough to build momentum, alliance, and resonance so deep the market feels the shift before the product even lands. It's a rhythm of power, like stalking prey, not sprinting into a crush. If you rush, you bleed energy and credibility. If you wait with intent, the market's heartbeat aligns with yours, and when you move, the world has no choice but to follow. You deserve more than to be one more founder lost in the noise. You deserve to be the signal that cuts through, that people listen to, that investors lean into, that leaders rally behind. But to get there, you must break the illusion of freedom that the world sells. You are not free if you live by rules others wrote. You are not powerful if you seek acceptance over transformation. The greatest leaders are the ones who burn so bright they pull the future into the present, not just predict it. So, where do you start? First, stop selling your product and start telling a story of change. Dive beyond the shallow. What raw nerve does your idea strike? What truth are you illuminating that others won't? Next, build your circle. Not a crowd, not a community, but a constellation of the few who share your relentless hunger to unlearn, redefine, and rebuild. Hunt for radical honesty and brutal complementarity, not comfort or popularity. Then, wield time as your ally, crafting every step as part of a long game where each move amplifies the last, building unstoppable momentum. Finally, remember, your will is your weapon. Doubt, fear, fragmentation, they only hold power if you let them. You are not here to bend. You are here to burn. When you orchestrate your market entry this way, you don't just step into a category, you become the category. Competitors scurry to catch up. Investors see a force, not a risk. Customers don't just buy, they believe. This is liberation from the mediocre script the world handed you. This is how the rare become unstoppable. Crushing the status quo isn't easy. It's lonely and painful, but every second of that pain fuels a future where your vision reshapes entire industries. Break the false promise of comfort. Reject mediocrity disguised as stability. Forge your path with savage clarity. The market is waiting, but not for the cautious. It's for the disruptors, the unrelenting, the few who will never settle for less than becoming the leaders they were born to be. Step out. Rip the veil. Own your place not as a player, but as the power that moves the game. Because the world needs more than founders and leaders. It needs orchestrators who will redefine the future. The question is not if you can, but will you rise now, or stay trapped beneath the weight of everyone else's rules? The choice is yours. The moment is now. Don't just enter the market, own it.